This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at the Met Theater in Hollywood for their presentation of The Pleasure Project. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Ava Bogle, writer-performer of The Pleasure Project. Well, the show is about sex and aliens. It's about, can the clitoris save humanity? And we believe it can.
Question, why did you decide to write this piece anyway?
Why? A lot of reasons. I noticed that even my my empowered feminist friends were screwed up about sex, or there were, weird complications, and I wondered why, and I wanted to look into that and why our culture is so weird about sex and where that comes from. And I thought about aliens coming from another planet and being like, why are they so weird about sex? And I think that women have a lot of untapped power and sexual power.
Well, I really enjoyed the piece. Well, first of all, again, in theater, whenever I see them dealing with sexuality, it really isn't sensual. It isn't pornographic. It's actually pretty complex. What are your thoughts on that?
My show.
Your show. Well, why is that?
Because, I think it is sensual, but it's not pornographic. That's good. I think because sex isn't pornographic, I think porn is different than sex. I think porn is a performance of sex, and I'm trying to get to some realness, maybe. And if I did, that's great.
Yeah, actually, I didn't feel very real. In a sense, again, for at least a guy's point of view, sex is actually very one-dimensional. It's all about pleasure. It's all about power. It's all about that. For women, it's probably more complicated than that.
Yeah, it is complicated. I'm glad you said that, because I think that's kind of what I was trying to articulate before, is why is sex so complicated for women? Because men are so much better at just taking their pleasure and being like, this feels good, I'm going to do it. Why for women does it become this really heady thing? So I think religion's a big part of that. I think our culture, the Puritans, and I think control of women and their bodies, all of these things are the reason for that. But that's a good point. I agree.
Yeah. Well, also, again, like I said before, I really don't see a whole lot of sex in theater nowadays. This is not like Shakespearean times where actually there was a lot of sex. Nowadays, you don't see a whole lot of that. I think one reason is the social atmosphere we're in right now. But also, I think another reason about it is, again, the pieces that deal with sex, they have to be more complex. They have to deal with individuals. They have to humanize it. They have to personify it. And they have to give it some kind of respect for it to actually be a decent topic.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if women talked more about sex, that's always my mission, I think, because I'm kind of shameless. I was raised by a really shameless mom who was gave me a vibrator when I was 12, and everyone that knows me knows that. That I am very open about sex, and so I try to put that in my work and hopefully inspire other women to be like, this is okay, we can talk about this, and just open up the conversation, because I think a lot of the problem is that things are not talked about and taboo still, even though it's just sex and it's not that big of a deal.
Also, I thought this was very funny. Now, whenever I think about sex funny, I think about comedy stories. Usually the type of humor that is pretty lowbrow. It's very raunchy. You kind of know exactly what the joke's going to be about. This I thought was funny, but it wasn't like that. It was different. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I will say that I do raunchy material in my stand-up, but I don't know. I think because they're aliens, it's they don't come to it from that human. They come to it from kind of an innocence, and look at the humans, and they're so weird and interesting, and they think that humans are stupid and ridiculous, but also they love humans. And Paula just wants to be human, and she loves how complicated they are. And I think when you come at it from a place of curiosity and interest and innocence, in a way, it's not raunchy. It's just curious. And I think we put a lot of raunch on sex culturally, but I think at its core, it's not raunchy.
I really enjoyed the piece. I thought it was humorous. I thought it was entertaining, and I thought it was a breath of fresh air, actually.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because this is like showing, like ripping my chest open and like, here's my beating heart, and no one's seen it until tonight. So I appreciate that.
Okay. Once again, I really enjoyed the piece.
Thank
you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Rachel Avery. I'm the director of The Pleasure Project, which is playing right now at Rogue Machine as part of the Hollywood Fringe Festival.
Great. So what drew you to this piece?
Ava and I have known each other for several years, actually. She produced a project that I wrote and was in, and she brought me sort of the idea and said, do you know any great directors? And I was like, well, I want to do it. So she and I kind of collaborated and in the past, and so we worked together to develop the project and bring it to where it is right now.
If my viewers come and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
Well, I think truly it's sort of an irreverent and sexy one-woman show that's a look at the modern feminist plight. I think Ava's sensitively written about women empowerment in a funny and provocative way, and I also think that it's sort of timely given the state of our politics right now.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this piece. First of all, again, it is adult themed.
Yes.
So it does talk a bit about it talks about sex and all that. But again, it's interesting thing about theater. Even though they talk about sex, it's not sensual. It's not pornographic. It's very, very complex.
That's right. Well, something that we talked about a lot is about sort of desexualizing the story from a sort of taking back the power of a sexual story for a woman writer, a woman director, a woman performer. I think oftentimes, especially in the media and other pieces that are written by men, sometimes they have this term called the male gaze, where it's women portrayed through the male gaze. And so we want to kind of look at women's sexuality through the female gaze. And that's why I'm very happy to hear you say that, because I think it's true. We want to like present this concept that the clitoris can save humanity in a way that's funny and takes back the power, the sexual power for the females in the audience and the woman portraying the characters.
I also thought it was actually very funny. And again, when you talk about a sexual nature in, say, a comedy store, it would get rather raunchy. This wasn't that raunchy. It was actually pretty highbrow.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you. Yeah, we looked for. Yeah, we didn't want to go to the lowest common denominator. Our goal is to raise awareness and be thought-provoking to our audience, and I'm really happy to hear you say that. So we were very specific in our choices with everything from costume and video, music. It was all a very thoughtful process.
Once again, I really enjoyed myself. I really liked the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And please, everyone who's listening, come see the show. The times are listed on the Rogue Machine website as well as the Hollywood Fringe Festival website.
Thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
The Pleasure Project will be playing at the Met Theater in Hollywood from June 8th to the 24th. For more information, go to www.roguemachinetheater.net/fringe-2017.